This is WFLD, Fox 32 in Chicago. This is WFLD-TV, Channel 32 Chicago, owned and operated by Fox Television Stations Incorporated. Transmitting from the John Hancock Building with executive offices and studios located at 205 North Michigan Avenue in Chicago. WFLD-TV operates on an assigned frequency of 578 to 584 megahertz, as assigned by the Federal Communications Commission. Some programs and portions of programs presented by this station are recorded. WFLD-TV's entire broadcast schedule is a copyrighted original work. No recording, retransmission, or other use may be made of WFLD-TV's programming without the express prior written consent of Fox Television Stations Incorporated. We welcome your comments regarding our programming. Address your correspondence to the Office of the General Manager, WFLD-TV, 205 North Michigan Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60601.
Dear Mr. President, there are too many states nowadays. Please eliminate 3. I am not a crackpot.
Hello, everybody, wherever you may be. My name is Larry. My call sign is Hilo 7 Hotel November. Welcome back to the Shack Ham Radio Live. Please hit that subscribe button. We don't monetize, so subscribe, you know. Helps people find the channel here on YouTube. It's important. It's important. Come on. Happy Monday to you. It's February 1st. We flip the calendar today. Wherever you may be around the world, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. Thanks for the thumbs up. Hello and welcome back. It's so good to see you guys. It really is. What do you think? I mean, it's a good day. It's a Monday.
Let's roll.
All right. So we're going to be talking about a great antenna product today that I'm excited about. I really am. In fact, we're bringing it with us to Hawaii. So when we do the live shows there from Maui, we'll be using this antenna and we'll be transmitting, trying to make some calls. So if you want some KH6 calls, coming up in February, late this month, this is the month we go. Martin from Holland. That's very nice. Thank you, my friend. 3, 2, 1, and go, Larry. Thank you so much. You're awesome. So we're going to be using this antenna in Hawaii, and I'd like to show it to you. We're going to talk about it today, so thank you for coming. We'll do a little bit of test questions today for generals, and, you know, to help people license up in the general test. It's important because we do have some folks that watch the channel who are trying to get that general ticket. We want to help you. We do. So, again, not a substitute for study, but maybe you'll catch a tip in this to help you pass the test, okay? I was blessed to pass all 3 in one sitting. I'll give you every bit of how I did it in an upcoming show, actually. It's going to be how I passed the 3 in one day. But you need to understand I was blessed to do so. All right, welcome here. All right, we're going to do some test questions. Before we go any further, I want to let you know a station update here on the channel. We're going to go with the K4D. Everything was totally ready. Sold off the 101, had everything done. And I want, you know, sometimes people understand things just don't work out. And it's not anybody's fault. It's just the way life is. And I mean, you got to remember, I had an antenna that I'd worked really hard to build, which snapped because someone was trying to help me too hard and they went too fast and it broke the antenna. And I could have gotten frustrated and screamed at the person, but I realized it just wasn't the right time. Okay. This is one of those times too, where it's just not the right time. It's not working out. because I do the YouTube channel and because I'm disabled, I would like to have a radio that I can use comfortably from my zero gravity chair. But I also don't want to sacrifice what you see here on the channel because it's a very unique situation, right? I have a live channel that I do every day and I'm trying to get you the best product I can. So it was hard to continue to wait. And it's not Elecraft's fault. Elecraft's doing the best they can. You got to remember, you can't buy a Yaesu FTDX10 right now without waiting for weeks to get one. You can't buy a 101D anywhere. Everybody is facing this problem right now. So it's not Elecraft's fault. It's just the way things are. So we're going to be looking at getting a radio that's going to work, but it has to also work for me where I can use remote box with knobs, hopefully, and make it work. Now I have choices. I could either do it this way. I could turn around and thanks for the thumbs up. I know you guys miss having the, the display on the shows, and that's coming. I promise you that is definitely coming. Okay. Now I could do it this way. I could use the K3. Elecraft has a great product where basically it's a K3 Mini. Use the same exact front head, control this radio from anywhere. I could basically control it anywhere I want to and use it just like as if I was sitting there. Pretty cool stuff. So good opportunity for me maybe to do it that way. That's probably the way I'll go. Could be. And bring back the 101. Because I'll tell you, and I've said it to everybody yesterday on the show, we talked about rigs you like. The 101's the best receiver I've ever used. It is. The Yaesu FTDX 101's the best receiver I have ever used. And Rob Sherwood agrees too. I mean, it's a great transceiver. Excellent front end. Real strong. Probably go with the D because I've got a good amp. Don't need to worry about that. Anyway, how are you? Good to see you. Hi, Harold. Thank you. You know what? This is very kind. Harold, thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're the only daily live channel on YouTube every day that's here. The only one. We don't monetize. You can watch the show from beginning to end. Better yet, it's designed to listen to. You can put the phone in your pocket or your purse and you can just listen beginning to end. Don't have to worry about an ad pop up for some acne cream that you don't need or, some sort of, paint remover tool that's not important, Yeah. So, none of that stuff. You just simply can listen to the show. That's the whole purpose. So I'd like to welcome you. Let's get some people licensed. That's the main point here. So thank you, Ward. Ward knows exactly what's been going on. And it's funny. That's why I'm late, because everything all kind of came apart with the K4D right about an hour before showtime. So that's why we're a little bit late. And Elecraft, great company. They're great. I'm wearing the hat today because I still support the company, because I believe in what they do. That's the honest truth. Sometimes things just don't work out. It's okay. First general question. 2 of them for you. 2 for 1. That's pretty cool. First question. What type of instrument can be used to accurately measure an RF field? For new hams, RF again, radio frequency. Okay, so you got an antenna. Let's say it's a directional. Okay, you've got yourself a Yagi, an opti beam, log periodic, a hex beam. Okay, and you're a little concerned. You may be running some power. You want to make sure you're not interfering with somebody's, electronics in their home. So you do an RF measurement, which is what you're supposed to do when you change antennas or you put an amp in, right? You want to make sure you're not affecting your neighbors from too much RF exposure. The answer is B, a calibrated field strength meter with a calibrated antenna. Both are very important, okay? So you pick up calibrated field strength. You can pick up a field strength meter pretty much anywhere. Just check online for that. MFJ sells them. Find them there. I believe, I don't know if Palomar does, but they might. And then, of course, calibrated antenna. Make sure your antenna is resonant and that it can, pick up the signals. Hello there, Dave. Temecula, California is in the house. Dave, welcome. He's Whiskey 6, Charlie Radio Tango. Dave, thanks for being here. Bet it's warm. All right, next question. Which of the following is good practice for lightning protection grounds? Grounds are important. We talk about a lot of it when we're in our shacks because, let's face it, grounding is important. You need to ground your stuff. Ground it in one place, okay? But here we're talking about outside on your antenna. Okay, here's the choices giving, okay? And I want to get to the right answer and tell you why. Okay, so for people taking their tests, if you see this question, it has to do with outside your antenna, okay, on your antenna. Okay. A, they must be bonded to all buried water and gas lines. Can you imagine putting a ground for lightning on a gas line? Think about that. Not a good idea. No. B, bends in ground wires must be made as close as possible to a right angle. No. C, lightning grounds must be connected to all underground wiring. Can you imagine what would happen there to all underground wiring? Really?
Don't anybody move. Hold it right there. The fuse is out.
And more than that. Or D, they must be bonded together with all other grounds. The answer is D. They've got to be bonded together with all other grounds. Just put them with your antenna. Ground them to a ground plate, stuff in the ground. Make sure it's buried there, okay? Right by your antenna. Simply ground your antenna. Put it to a ground rod. You're good. Thanks for the thumbs up. That's very thoughtful. Thanks, guys. Been a rough day. Really has been. Been a tough day. Yeah, been a tough day. But we're making it. Next question. All right. On which of the following bands is phone operation prohibited? Meaning you can't use a microphone. It's on 30 meters. Everything on 30, which is 10.1 megahertz to 10.150, is all digital, okay? You cannot use your phone. No microphone there. And there's a reason. First of all, you have 200 watt limit, 200 watt peak envelope power on 30. But the other thing is, the reason why it exists is because there are short wave stations in this area. So you don't want to have any interference with them. This is one of the work bands. It was brought in 1979 into ham radio. So we've got to be careful with how we use them. So no phone operation and only 200 watts on 30 meters. Keep that in mind. Okay. And don't confuse 30 with 60. Some people might confuse 30 with 60. Okay, 60 is 5 channels, remember that, and 100 watts only. 30 is digital only and 200 watts. That's what, the difference is. Okay. Next question. When may music be transmitted by an amateur station? Here's this question again, and here's the answer again in a different format. Look at how it's wrote. D, when it is an incidental part of a manned spacecraft, and then the key word, retransmission. Okay, so you got your radio, okay? You're playing it for your buddy. Let's say you're in Alabama, right? You're playing it for your pal in Texas. You say, look, man, I made this great call to the ISS last night. Want to hear it? The guy in Texas says, yeah. And all of a sudden you play it, okay? You play a retransmission of your copy, your contact with an astronaut on the ISS. Well, the astronaut in the ISS might have some music playing in the background on the space station. It's only then that it's legal to have music transmitted by your station. That's weird, right? Okay. It's a weird set of circumstances. But the point is, this question pops up a lot on the general. So look for retransmission. When you see retransmission, that's the answer because it's the only way you can do it. Okay? Happy February 1st, everybody. Next questions. Which of the following is a limitation on transmitter power on the 1.8 megahertz band? This is 160, also known as top band. Top band, right above the AM dial. The answer is 1,500 watts. You can go all the way to legal limit here in the U.S. 1,500 watts on 160, okay? So if you see anything about full power, 1,500 watts, remember, 160, you can use it, 80/75, okay? You can still use it there. Once you get to 60, remember, we're limited on 60. We can't use full power. It's 100 watts. So 60 is 100, 40 is 1,500, 30, 200, okay? So really, the only ones you've got to worry about with a transmitter, hiccup is going to be 30 and 60. For the most part, remember those, okay? If you're going to take your general, those are the ones to think about, keep in mind, okay? All right, here we go. If a person has an expired FCC-issued amateur radio license of general class or higher, okay, what's required before they can receive a new license? Okay, so you've had a license for a while. Let's say you forget to reapply, to renew your license, okay? It comes up in year 10. Licenses are good for 10 years. That's another question on the FCC test. Remember, licenses are good for 10 years. Let's say you get past your license renewal date. Oops, I didn't get my license renewed. What happens? Even if it's only 1 day expired, you must retake the test. That's the answer. You've got to pass the general exam. In this question, it's worded as the applicant must pass the current element 2 exam, which is the general. Okay, so make sure when you get close to license renewal time that you make sure and renew that license. Okay, next question: which of the following conditions require a licensed amateur radio operator to take specific steps to avoid harmful interference to other users or facilities? This is a weird question. They've got it's kind of a sister question to this, where it's about your neighbor, RF exposure. This is a different situation altogether. In the neighbor example, RF exposure stands for when you're dealing with, too much RF exposure because of your heating body tissue and causing problems to your neighbor, right? So that's a problem in a different way. This is your signal causing problems. This is your transmit signal causing problems. Don't confuse the two. Okay, look at the question. It has to do with facilities and users. Facilities and users, right? Okay. So, A, when operating within 1 mile of an FCC monitoring station. Okay, plausible. B, when using a band where the amateur service is secondary. That's absolutely true because we're always secondary. Don't forget that. Generals, if you're going to take the test soon, remember the amateur service is always secondary. It is never primary. All right, so that's absolutely true. C, when a station is transmitting spread spectrum emissions. Okay, yeah, you've got to avoid harmful interference then. That makes D the right answer. All three of these are correct. Okay, you've got to take specific steps to avoid harmful interference, meaning your transmit signal interfering with an FCC monitoring station, when you're using a band near a short wave station, and when you're transmitting spread spectrum emissions. Okay. That's it. That's one of those, all of them are the same. Okay. They're all good. We'll zoom through. Here's a few more. I know we got some folks taking the general soon, and I want to make sure and help them. That's the passion of this channel. It was at the beginning and it is now. Which mode of voice communication is most commonly used on the HF amateur bands? Okay, it's single sideband. Frequency modulation is used. You can use it on 28 megahertz. There's places where you can use FM. Double sideband is not an answer. It just doesn't exist. Single sideband, of course, does exist, and phase modulation is just a made-up thingy-bobber that doesn't exist on our radios. Okay, single sideband, interesting story about that. For years, our phone emissions were always AM. You always used your mic on AM. That was the way it was. People had AM transmitters. It was great. Then in the 50s, someone developed sideband, and it was like weird because people who were all on phone were like, that's a garbled bunch of mess. They got, here's your 6K wide AM signal, sounding strong and powerful with good voice, full modulation. Sounds great. That's what AM stations were back then, right? And they still are today. Ham radio used to be the same way. Then it was found out way back by ham radio operators, of course, that sideband, using just a sideband, not the carrier, and both sidebands together, was a more efficient way to transmit your signal and make it go farther. There was a turf war for a long time in ham radio between the AM folks and the sideband folks, okay? Finally, over time, sideband became the way people worked ham radio. Now, there's still AM areas on the bands, and they're still used by those AM folks that still love it. But sideband is the most efficient way to transmit. Okay, remember, on your test, 10 megahertz is the dividing line. Anything below 10, lower sideband. Anything above 10, upper sideband. Easiest way to always remember that. Want to welcome Scott. Welcome to the show. Good to see you, Scott, as always. And our buddy Digital Analog Ham. Welcome to the show today. Thank you. Tuesday, February 1st. All right, helping generals out with the test. Next question, which of the following complies with good amateur practice when choosing a frequency on which to initiate a call? Okay, this one is interesting, okay? A, check to see if the channel is assigned to another station. Okay, just to understand, in ham radio, no channel is assigned to anyone, including hams. Including hams. There is no assigned channel. All right. B, identify your station by transmitting your call sign at least 3 times. Can you imagine you got guys that are rolling with a DX pile up and you pile in there all of a sudden, K7HN, K7HN, K7HN. No. Be awful. C, follow the voluntary band plan, for the operating mode you intend to use. Or D, all the choices are correct. The answer is C, follow the voluntary band plan. You want to follow that band plan for the operating mode you intend to use. Again, if you don't know the band plan, it's easy to find. ARRL has the band plan. You just print it out right off the internet. You'll have a copy of it. Or you can buy them at a local ham radio store. They all carry them. Nice laminated piece. And it's good to know before your test. It'll help you. Not a bad idea. Okay, a few more on the general. We'll get going. What pro sign is sent to indicate the end of a formal message when using CW? Okay, for folks who are not in ham radio, CW does not mean country and western. It doesn't. It actually means Morse code. Okay, CW is code word. Okay, so what pro sign, okay, is sent at the end? It's AR. AR. That's at the end of a formal message, okay? So how I remember this on my test was AR is all right. So you send a message to someone, you remember, at the end, you go, all right? Like, do you understand? All right. By the way, AR also can mean ready to receive some more. It can, but AR is used in Morse code to say that's the end. End of a formal message, AR. Remember all right, and you're good to go. All right, we have 3 more. All right, happy February 1st. Which of the following is required by the FCC rules when operating in the 60-meter band? Now we're on 60. Remember, 5 channels, 100 watts maximum. This is where the shortwave powerhouses are. This is why. This is a band that's real touchy because it's right in the middle of a whole bunch of powerful shortwave stations. That's why there's 5 channels. The answer is A. If you're using other than a dipole antenna, you must keep a record of the gain of your antenna. Now you might say, okay, so how do I know? How do I know the gain? Okay. Go to a program like EasyNac, something like that, and put in the coordinates. Let them know how high your antenna is, what kind it is, and then get the far field plot, get an idea of what the gain number is, your takeoff angle, and what the gain is. It's a good way you can do it pretty easily, okay? Or you can use a field strength meter and a calibrated antenna. That's the other way you can do it too. All right, 2 more. Generals. By the way, good luck. I know some people are taking the test this week that watch the channel. All right, what segment of the 20-meter band is most often used for digital transmissions? I'm going to give you the answer for every one of these, and it will make sense every time and work for you. It is the test primer for you to know digital. Remember our centennial. Remember our bicentennial. Remember the U.S.'s birth year, 76. Okay? Now, that's not where you'll find things like FT8, but it's close. If you remember 76, you're going to have the answer right every single time because that's in the area where it's always right. Okay? B, 14.070 to 14.100. So remember the year the U.S. was born. 76 is in there, right? you'll have the right answer. Okay? That's the best way to remember those. All right. Last two. What effect does a high sunspot number have on radio communications? Well, here's some good stuff. Because when we have high sunspot numbers, C is the answer. Long distance communication in the upper HF and even the lower VHF range is enhanced. It means you can make better calls. It also means things like 20 meters and 17, so forth, can work day and night. True. We're going up down the sunspot cycle, so that's a good thing. Final question has to do with transistors and identifying them. Okay, like to let you see it real quick. It's hard to see it this way. So I have a blown up version to help you with. Okay, if you've got a really huge monitor and excellent eyes, you'll be able to read this. So I'm sorry. It says, what symbol in figure G7-1 represents a field effect transistor, a FET transistor, okay? So we're looking for a field effect transistor. All right, here's the diagram a little closer without the question. All right, in the middle, remember, you're looking for the circle with the T. Circle with the T, right? Okay? Take a look at them. There's two. They're right in the middle. Number 1 and number 2. Two circles with T's. There's a single line going in. You see, in this case, the vertical line. But that vertical line comes in. Horizontal line comes in, hits the vertical line in the center of the circle. So the circles are your transistors. That's important to understand. Remember, circle with a T, transistor. Okay. The FET, the field effect transistor, is number 1. Notice the difference between number 1 and number 2. Okay. Number 1 has the arrow inside it. That is a field effect transistor. If it doesn't have the arrow, it's not. Okay. Could be an N type. Okay. Could be a lot of different, transistors, but it's not a field effect if it's missing the arrow in the center. There's your clue. If you see this one pop up. Okay. Let's take a look at your comments. Boy, caught up with you guys. Sorry about that. Glenn Stevenson, UK, and good morning to you. Hello, Glenn. Nice to see you all the way in VK land. Welcome, Australia. Give us summer back. We want our summer back, Glenn. Digital analog ham. That's so nice. Thank you very much. It's nice of you to say that. I appreciate that more than you know. Thank you for your kind words there. That's very nice. Tom is here from Bahrain. Nice to see you. Larry worked Norway, Indonesia, St. Petersburg, Russia, and Florida today on 85 watts from the car portable today. Check that out. Look at all the places you work portable. Also just want to reiterate, the guys taking the general, they can do it. 73s, you can do it. Good job. Great stuff. Thanks for sharing. Generals, you can do it. And folks, we had a nice guy come on Friday night show when we did CQ calling, and he was like, I want to do ham radio, but I think it might be too hard. It isn't too hard. It isn't. No. There's some great online study courses out there that'll help get you up to speed like that. And they work in a way that if you're struggling with something, they'll kind of test you along the way as they teach you. And then if you're struggling, they'll help to keep giving you those questions and those, the reasons why things are that way to help you learn it and keep giving you those questions when you take the practice exams. It helps to teach you. So it focuses on areas that you need to work on. So it's a good way to learn. You can definitely get on the air. Don't let that hinder you. We'll have the link below to ARRL.org to help you get started. Take a look at it in the description section. Flex Radio user, welcome to the channel. Hello again. Nice to see you. Ma Ole. Now this is Oscar Zulu 1 Lima Charlie Golf. I compare my home antenna. Let's take a look again here. Sorry about that. My home antenna, which is an inverted L, multiband vertical, mobile, 543 elevated antenna, 4 square antenna. He says, I can compete with my home antenna, but a contest station will win it 8 out of 10 times. Yeah, you're right. And that's a very good point, Flex. Absolutely. Contest stations are set up to do this. They have directionals, and they have power. Okay, they work really hard on those antennas to keep them up at 100%. They're going to have strong gain. They do. That's how they're designed. They're usually stacked, or they'll have multiple verticals, so the gain goes out stronger. Have you ever thought of this? We're going to have, excuse me, didn't mean to sniffle there. Flex, we're going to have a gentleman on this week who's one of the coolest people I know on ham radio. His name's Raleigh. He's from New Zealand. He's a great guy from New Zealand. And Raleigh has a really good way for people to compete in ham radio contests and do well. Have you ever thought of QRP? Enter the QRP class. Seriously. Because the thing is, not many people do it. And because not many people do it, make as many calls as you can with QRP, which to me is a lot harder to do anyways. The challenge is there for you, right? So the drive, the fun of QRP is there. Man, you might just win. QRP is a very narrow class in contests. Hi, Andy from Great Britain. Good to see you. He is Mike 7 X-Ray Tango. Welcome to the show. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Scott says work St. Petersburg today also. He was loud. Andy from Great Britain, 8 watts into Maine today from UK on a hex beam with 20 meters. There you go. There's QRP, 8 watts. But the key is the antenna. When you have the directional, makes all the difference in the world, because now you've got gain, not only with transmit, but hearability too. Nice work, Andy. Congratulations. My call sign, thank you. It's Kilo 7 Hotel November, K7HN. Okay, thank you. Andy, only 8 watts. This comes from Tom. That's my home state, down to Maine. Very good. All right. Flex Radio is hi from Denmark. I'm not in the swimming pool today with my AM radio, only on the holidays. That's pretty cool. Love Denmark. I'm like half Danish. Nice to have you here. Thank you for coming. Today, I'm going to show you a great product. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm excited because we're going to take it to Hawaii with us. You know, I have the Chameleon 2.0 MPass vertical. Great vertical antenna. Now, here's the problem. I love the Chameleon. I do. If I want to work 20 or, higher, I can do that. So 20, 17, 15, 12. I can do that great because the antenna is really built for 20 meters and higher in frequency. But what if I want to work 40? 40 is the problem, but it isn't with this. Let me show you. MFJ 2286. I got this for a reason. I originally wanted the big ears, but this works so much better. First of all, you get a really nice, it's good quality canvas case. Check this out. This thing is big, but it's not super heavy. Might weigh 10 pounds, maybe, all right? Inside, you get a very heavy-duty tripod. Again, made out of steel, right? So you got a good tripod. This thing extends up to about 5 feet. Very strong. Then you get a whip antenna. This is what helps you to tune. By the time you're all done with this, okay, this will get you. So that's the technique. You got a large thing, right? And all of a sudden you lose the feed. Sorry about that. Okay, so connected together, that's 17 feet, all right? Inside here, you also get your coax that goes from your rig to the antenna. You get your counterpoise radios for your ground radios, and you get your tap coil. This is important because here's where you're going to tune the antenna for SWR. Make sure you bring an antenna analyzer with you. You hook this up onto the mast with the whip, and then essentially you tune this coil. Now, why would this be so cool, right? There's lots of antenna products out there. Because with this thing built the way it is, it's going to handle, I kid you not, this thing together, built, will work up to a kilowatt. No joke. You can go 1 kW with this antenna that goes up in 10 minutes. Park's on the air. Island's on the air. You like to do remote work sometimes from the beach? That's how hard it is to put it away. Simply goes right in this nice canvas bag, And they include shoulder strap. It's well built. You get everything you need. It's the MFJ 2286. And unlike a lot of these verticals that go up in no time at all, like, you know, the short install kind, like the chameleons, right? 10 minutes, 5 maybe. And we're going to use it Friday night on CQ calling. So CQ calling will use this antenna 17 feet. Okay, we'll see how it does on 40 because, you know, I want to see how it's going to do in Hawaii. This will be our transmit antenna when we work 40 meters in Hawaii. MFJ 2286, 17 feet tall, but up in about 5 to 10 minutes, handles a kilowatt, comes with everything you need. Okay, the best part is the price. The price stunned me. You know, when I looked at this thing, I was like, "Are you serious?" You know, that nice of an antenna, which, you know, hey, it's not, you know, it's a kit. It's a whole kit. The chameleon's like $550. Okay, this one right now, you can purchase it $120. It's not bad. That's a Parks on the Air remote antenna, and plus it comes like with a bumper mount too if you want to hook it on your bumper. $120. No brainer. No brainer. Find it at mfjenterprises.com, or you get it at HRO. You can get it over at DX Engineering, Gigaparts, wherever you want to go. But that's a great solution right there for people who want to do, you know, remote work, or if you know, antenna restricted where you live. Man, you could put that thing up in 5 minutes, be working for an hour, and then take it down before anybody complains. If somebody says there was like some kind of antenna out there, no, there wasn't. Where was it? just saying. Just saying. All right. My friend here is asking about my streaming. It's fine. My streaming's just fine. No worries there. Yeah. I've been in broadcasting a long time. You can't mess with me there, brother. All right. Tom, he says A92HK and myself ran with kilowatt through the same whip on 40. Tom says, works great. Yeah, 2286. We're going to use it on CQ calling coming up on Friday night. Going to be solid. Looking forward to that. All right, let's take a look quickly at the Elecraft K3. We're going to be on 17. We'll see if we make a quick call, say hello to somebody today. And we're working on it. We're not sure on the rig. Honestly, here's the deal. Between either getting the 101 back in here, because I love the ASU 101. I do. It's the best receiver I've ever used. Or moving to the Flex 6400M, which gives me the, you know, ability to have a Maestro and be in my zero gravity chair and just be on the radio and not be in pain sitting down after a while. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We'll see how it goes. The whole thing has to do a lot with remote, which I can use this radio and remote with as well. So yeah, a little bit of a juggling act. See which way we're going to go. K4 just didn't quite work out. We've got to get a display here. But the good people at Elecraft, I'm not planning to sell my K3 soon. I was, but not now. Boy, 17's quiet. Take a quick tune. Very quiet. All right, let's take a look over at 20. I think people are tired from field day. It's got to be that, right? Let's go there. They're tired from field day. They're like, I'm not going to use the radio. I'm too tired. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. All right. I'll get to your questions here in a moment.
Pleased to know that I'm getting out that well. You're getting in here very well on the 80 watts.
Okay, we'll try a quick tune.
Congratulations on the 80 watts. It's doing a very I'm running the kilowatt now in the 6 stack, so I'm running 6 of the 3 elements FIRs up on the big tower.
There you go.
Having a lot of fun with the big antenna. The ZS5 Tango United.
Oh.
Echo 5 Echo
You got to bear with me. When they say ZS5, okay, I'm going to tune right away. I'm going to do everything I can to hear that signal because that's South Africa. From the, from West Coast, that's nearly impossible. If I can hear that voice coming back, you darn right I'm calling. So that's why I was tuning real quick on the bandwidth and filtering. All right, let's move.
Ahí en la pantalla te está diciendo que lo compres. Ahí puede haber dándole un clic y seguir. Y ahí es como si fuera hay las dos opciones, que lo hagan en el internet ahí en la pantalla o que se compre el disco. Yo sería de la idea.
I have a hard time there. I'm not good at Spanish, and I'm also not supposed to use Spanish as a U.S. amateur. Not good. So, remember, English. We're supposed to use English for your tests. And bring up the mid.
It's one of those things. It's just, there's nothing lasts forever. And when it comes to bulbs, even the LED bulbs that are supposed to last a long, long time, I've got them in most of my light fixtures here in the house. And I've had a couple of them, I should say.
Just bringing up the power real quick. We'll go to 100 watts. We can say hello, maybe.
Flickering. I turn the lamp on or whatever, and maybe later it'll start flickering a little bit, and then it settles down and stays okay. And finally, I had one that did that just quit working altogether.
Well, this might be too long, guys.
I think another lamp is starting to do that flickering thing again, so I'm waiting for that other shoe to drop. But they're supposed to have some long life. I bought a bunch of them for my pole building, so I got 10 sockets out there for incandescent bulbs, and I had 100-watt incandescent.
This is a long one. It's okay. It's just a rag chew. They're just talking, having a nice talk. So that's okay. That's what ham radio is about. Let's take a look at 40 real quick. And if we can't make the call, we can always talk for a moment. That's okay. I'm cool with that. Grab 40. We're resting on the Sen 10 anyway, but just want to make sure we're good. Kilo 7 Hotel November.
You're very welcome. Okay, I heard Kilo 7 Hotel November. I need new location in the CN traffic, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I tuned into a net. My bad here. K7HN. My location's Independence, Oregon. No traffic.
Okay, Independence, Oregon with no traffic. Can I get first in?
A QSL. Thanks. Sorry to bug you guys. I'll go QRT. K7HN clear.
Don't run away too fast because we're winding the net down. You can have the frequency after we close her up. Okay, any other business?
All right. So that was my mistake. That's jumping into a net real quick. But yeah, hey, we made the contact. Someone said hello, and there we go. Sorry about that. All right. Questions and answers. Okay. So just so understanding, and I think that maybe we get somebody here that's new. This show sounds much different than you hear on YouTube. And it may not be for you, and that's okay. It's all right. This show should sound just like a radio show on FM, very similar to the same sound quality. You're not going to hear a real high mid or a real heavy tin on the high end. It's going to be more low and then mid, and then it's going to come up. That's how it's EQ'd. So This show is going to come across much more like an FM broadcast. It's designed to do that. So it may not sound like everybody else on YouTube, but I guarantee the sound quality is going to sound much more like radio than they do, because I worked in radio a long time and it's designed the same way. All right. Glenn Stevenson from the UK. Good to see you as always, brother. Thank you. What stereo headphones would you recommend to use with the Heil parametric receive audio system? I would like to adjust the level in each ear. Thanks very much for your help. Well, you know, I like the Bose 700s. Those are good. The Bose QC35s are excellent. Sony's 400 1000s are both great headphones as well. Sennheiser can never, ever recommend a better headphone, but they're pricey. Sennheisers can be really costly headphones. So keep that in mind, Glenn. It's one of those things that are hard in terms of getting them, but and they can cost you some money. I prefer the Bose. I like them. They're great for splitting VFO A and B, plus the sound is excellent. Really is. I love these headphones. I also love the QC35s. They're excellent. With the Heil, they are fantastic as a great combination. Bergs is here from Sweden. Great to see you, Bergs. Welcome to the program. Thanks for coming today. Yes, sir. Ward Dixon, 14280. What we got here is a failure to communicate.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
Yeah, there you go. 73 D Mike 6 Victor Mike Oscar, sent over by Digital Analog Ham 73. That's from Great Britain. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Ward, you at 14280? Let me take a quick look. Let me go up there, 14280. We'll see if we can say a quick hello to Southern California. I think that's what he's trying to tell me. Ward's a good guy. Ward knows today what today was. Today was like, right before the show. Let's take a quick look. Is this frequency available? This is Kilo 7 Hotel November. Somebody's there. Yeah, I'm not going to mess there. We're going to just... I think we're maybe not being heard. Let's hope not, because they're still talking. So we'll just leave that alone. Ward, I think we were talking about possibly making a QSO there. My bad. Okay. All right, final thoughts, questions. Okay, so what we do here every day around 1900 UTC is a show that's developed for radio folks, people who love ham, shortwave, radio enthusiasts, DX, all of that. We try and do a show every day for you to help you enjoy the hobby. Also, it's not monetized, so we ask you to subscribe. That's important because, folks, we want people to find the channel who have an interest in radio. All right, and it sounds like a radio show because, doggone it, that's what I spent my years of life doing, and so it's supposed to sound this way. Thank you, Bergs, for the compliment. Thank you from around the world. Hope you all enjoy the sign-off today. Sign-off's pretty sweet. It is a very old sign-off, one when black and white was the way television was. We'll be back tomorrow at 1900 UTC on Ham Radio Live. Until then, thank you so much for watching. It's been my honor and privilege to do the show today. From around the world, from Australia to Europe to North America, who's here. Thank you not only for your thumbs up, but for your kindness as well. It does mean a lot. Thanks for being here, everybody. From the Shack, Kilo 7 Hotel November. My name's Larry. I thank you for watching. God bless you. Goodbye, everybody.
This is the seal of good practice. It identifies WCBS-TV Channel 2 as a subscriber to the television code of the National Association of Radio and Television Broadcasters. Remember, this seal assures you that WCBS-TV Channel 2 maintains high standards for the television programs designed to entertain and inform you. It is the seal of good practice. Before signing off, may we suggest for your further pleasure tonight that you switch now to radio and enjoy music till dawn. Bob Hall brings you pleasant melodies throughout the night on WCBS Radio, 880 on your radio dial. This is television station WCBS-TV in New York City, owned by the Columbia Broadcasting System, Incorporated, and operated by the CBS Television Division.
This station has been transmitting on television channel 2. Our next regularly scheduled program will come to you at 7:55 a.m. Good night.